This week, Jeff Johns got a really big pat on the back from DC Comics this week. Stick around and find out what I thought about Green Lantern number 20 and some other books as well. Hit the music. Hello everyone, the greatest goblin that ever lived, Blugoblin, is here with another comic book review for books that came out this week in May 2013. I want to thank you all for joining me. Before I get started, there's a couple of things I need to say. Number one, I wasn't able to get all the books that I wanted to get for this week because I'm flat broke. I literally rolled some coins to get what I got this week, which means next week's review is definitely going to be late. It's definitely going to be late, and there will be some back issue reviews on that review, but it will get done, trust me. Another thing I want to talk about before I get started with the books is after talking with my student, TheMtVernonKid, about this on one of his videos, I have decided to try something new. Something that some people might think that I should have done a long time ago. I'm going to try doing a Q&A session. I've done it before. It wasn't really successful because I was still a rookie back then, but I did answer questions. I'm thinking about doing it again. I'm going to be doing it on this channel, blugoblinX. So you need to subscribe to this channel. Now would be a great time because I'm gonna try to do a Q&A session. Now the Q&A session that I'm wanting to do, there's going to be a couple things here. One, it's going to be live feed. Just hoping I can get it done. And it's going to be at the end of the month. The end of this month or the beginning of next month. I'm hoping to do it on the 31st of May. Hoping to do it on the 31st. If not, it'll either be the 31st, the 1st of June, or the 2nd of June. I'm leaning toward the 31st of May. I don't know what the limit of questions will be. I'm leaning toward a limit of 5 questions per person. You can ask me questions about comic books, pro wrestling, cartoons, whatever. Now be warned, I'm going to be brutally honest with my answers. And if I don't know the answer to a question, or if I don't know what somebody's talking about when they ask me about certain something, I'll be blunt and just say, I'm sorry, I don't know. So I'm really nervous about doing this. It's going to be live. Don't know how long I'm going to be doing it. But subscribe to this channel, blugoblinX, and stick around for it. Right before I do it, I'll post a response on my main channel and let you know when I'm doing it and get y'all ready for it. But I'm hoping I'll be able to do a Q&A session. I already know Chris, my student, is going to be there. I'm hoping to see some other of my YouTube friends, maybe Deadpoolzilla, Fat Stack of Comics, my old buddy Brandon Hex, maybe some of the guys from Dark Avenger Inc. Plus, Dark Avenger Inc. Hoping to see all kinds of people there and some of my loyal subscribers. You know, who knows? This could be fun. Now we get on to the books. Y'all saw what I said at the beginning of the video. All joking aside, I did get Green Lantern 20, and I'm going to give a serious review when I get to it. I got 2 Marvels, and all the rest are DC, including a back issue from DC, and you'll see why. Now, since I wasn't able to get all the books this week that I wanted, there's not going to be any picks of the week, okay? We're just going to go through these books and just review them and call it a night. We're going to start with Marvel. We're going to start with All the Power, None of the Responsibilities, Scarlet Spider, number 17. Christopher Yost is doing the writing. Hang on, let me look in here and see who. Carlo Barberi is doing the pencil work. The pencil work in here, the artwork in here is good. It is really good. I do like it. I actually like it a lot. I mean, this artwork could really fit in here. But, yeah. Now that I really look at it, this artwork could really be better than the previous artwork. Alright, now, onto the book. Kane is approached by the Assassin's Guild that he had dealt with before, and I guess you can tell by the cover who it is they want him to go after. Yeah, this is Marvel's excuse to get Wolverine in yet another book. I swear, Wolverine is such a whore. Sorry, I gotta call it like it is. I'm like, it's like when I first read this book, I'm like, Jesus, another book where Wolverine's gotta be in it. Jesus. But, all joking aside, I really did enjoy this. This was great. Once the assassins show Kane who it is they wanted to go after, and he's just like, okay. he's like, do you want it? He said, yeah. It took a lot of thinking, and catch is he's got to go back to New York. He's got to go back to the city that he left, and it's him and Araceli. I can't pronounce her name for the life of me, but let's call her his little sidekick. So little sidekick and Scarlet Spider here. No, she gives herself a name. Let's see, what is she? I forgot what she calls herself. Hummingbird. Okay. So they infiltrate the Jean Grey School of Higher Learning to target Wolverine. And this issue was fun. I mean, this is the Scarlet Spider storytelling I like. Action-packed, good dialogue, good drama, but make the read fun. And I liked it. This was really fascinating to see Kane go toe-to-toe with some of the X-Men, including 2 of the original X-Men in here. And I think one of them cracks a joke at him saying, okay, not Spider-Man, what are you doing here? You know, but this was so well done, and little Hummingbird uses her talent to absolutely mindfuck everybody at the Jean Grey School, including Jean Grey herself. This was just wow, and the action here was really wow, especially the ending. I'm not going to spoil the ending, even though the cliffhanger, I do call bullshit on the cliffhanger, because come on, once you see the cliffhanger, you're going to go, bullshit. But this is another one of those fun cliffhangers. You know it's bullshit, but when you look at it, you're like, okay, drama, it could go somewhere, the story could pick up in the next issue, but we know what's going to happen at the beginning of the second issue. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to spoil it. This was good. I really enjoyed it. Nice work from Mr. Yost. Alright, next up, The Superior Spider-Man number 10. You know, I was really anxious to read this after what happened in issue 9. I'm going to go ahead and say it now. What happened in issue 9, Doc Ock was able to find out about Peter being in his brain, so in issue 9, he wiped Peter out. Now it's all Doc Ock. All Doc Ock, all the time. And in this issue, I love it. Dan Slott didn't waste any time. He didn't insult our intelligence, and he didn't drag it. Immediately, some key members of the Spider-Man family are already noticing differences with Peter. And I love the fact, I'm just gushing as a fanboy for Spider-Man. I loved finding out the first person that noticed something was different was Mary Jane. Who better to notice first? Am I right? I'm right. But it also goes to show you that Marvel remembers that Mary Jane isn't completely stupid, guys. And I love that. And especially another certain female from Peter's life, Miss Carly Cooper, his last girlfriend. Even she's noticing differences, and I love the fact that Dan is writing these two ladies to be smarter than what most fans take them for. And that's really a really nice touch to the character development of these two girls. And Mr. Slott, if you're watching this, I gotta say, as a fan, I really appreciate that. Thank you for not writing them off as just dumb girls who used to date Peter, not being able to put 2 and 2 together, because in actuality this makes them look smarter than the Avengers. Sorry. That's also why I laugh at this. It's like, wow, MJ and Carly actually look more intelligent than the Avengers. That's hilarious. But Ryan Stegman's artwork in here is really good. I mean, it really picked up in this particular issue. Ooh, but the one thing I want to talk about in here, oh God, I don't want to spoil it. It was that good. The new something that I thought wasn't going to get capitalized on. Finally, we're going somewhere with this certain asshole from Peter's past. I'll put it like that. And oh, I am so ready to see where they can go with this. You have no idea. I'll give you a hint. Who they got in here is my personal favorite Spider-Man villain. Y'all should know who it is. Even if you didn't read the book, you should know who it is. I gave you a hint, but I still didn't spoil it. All I can say, damn. Just damn. Alright, we're going on to DC. DC, we're going to start with Aquaman, number 20. Now, I got to call a foobar here. I want you to take a look down there. You see, it says it's done by Jeff Johns and Paul Pelletier. Wrong! Giving Jeff Johns credit for something he didn't write. The story was written by John Ostrander, and it was drawn by Manuel Garcia. Nice botch there, DC. Really nice. But this is a interlude to the Death of the King storyline involving the return of the others. Now, I gotta say, despite the fact that Jeff Johns didn't write this book, yet he got credit for it for some fucking reason. Despite that, I really did like this. It was very well done. Now, even though this is an Aquaman book, Aquaman is barely in this book. The book focuses solely on the others, and I appreciate that. Give us a reason. Give us a story in which we can find a reason to give a damn about these characters. Get emotionally connected to these characters. And for the most part, it worked. I am now further invested in these characters, and I'm further interested in where DC can go with them. Especially Prisoner of War. Wow, I mean, just some really, really good stuff in here. The story did kind of drag a little bit, but it's forgivable because I did really enjoy this. But there, I have to make a joke. Though there's an artifact that has still dealing with the weapons and artifacts from Atlantis being stolen and sold on the surface world, and the others are going after an Atlantean treasure. I swear to God, it's called the Power Glove. The Power Glove. I almost want to see Lucas going. I'm just hoping they confront Lucas going, I love the Power Glove. It's so bad. Holy crap, I'm nerdy. And I've had too much caffeine. But long story short, I did enjoy this, despite the fact that DC had to give another rub to Jeff Johns on something he didn't do. It was what it was, and I enjoyed it. It was nice, great stuff in here, good drama. There was some really good drama in here. And we learned something about a particular member of the others that I was like, whoa, wait, is she what? Just going to leave it at that. Good read. Good read. Alright, next up, Batman, The Dark Knight, number 20. Pulled into the darkness by the Mad Hatter. Wow. That's all I'm going to say. Just wow. Alright, moving on. Here it is. The moment you've all been waiting for. Green Lantern, number 20. The epic finale of Wrath of the First Lantern. I love it. They actually had to put in the epic finale on the damn cover. Now, because the conclusion, or just the finale, well, it wasn't good enough. It had to be called the epic finale. The special oversized anniversary issue. This is DC Comics thanking Jeff Johns for his run on Green Lantern. All joking aside, it is deserved. I mean, Jeff Johns, for 9 years, he took this character, who a lot of fans considered a boring character. He took Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, and he made him a household name. He made Hal Jordan famous again, because for the longest time, Hal Jordan had been seen as a stereotypical cookie-cutter Boy Scout boring character. You know, even lamer than Superman was at times. And Jeff Johns took this character and went the distance with him, and for that, he does deserve a big thank you. He does deserve praise. But I could tell that leading up to this, his creative juices in his brain, when it came to Green Lantern, they were starting to fizzle down. And you could really see how sloppy he was getting with some of the Green Lantern stories that he was writing. That doesn't mean his entire run was shit. His entire run was nothing short of incredible. But leading up to this, it just seemed... It's just a shame that Jeff Johns has to leave on a lackluster story in Wrath of the First Lantern. Yes, this book was really good. I really did enjoy it. I don't like the fact that it has to be $8 because, you know, it's an oversized book, but about half the damn book is nothing but people completely kissing Jeff Johns' ass. But like I said, it is well deserved, but you could have just left a couple of pages in the back from, with short little letters, like the letter section in most comics, saying thanks, Jeff, blah, blah, blah. That would have been fine. But no, we had to have like whole page spreads, multiple whole page spreads of people saying thank you, Jeff, and everything like that. And, it's nice to give the man respect for something that he did that was so wonderful for 9 years. But I think it's just my humbly honest opinion that they overdid it. And the fact that the First Lantern, the character, the First Lantern, Volthoom, or whatever the hell his name is, you want to talk about a bullshit lame villain. I mean, throughout this entire story, yes, Wrath of the First Lantern did have some good parts. It had some good storytelling moments in it from time to time, but the overall execution, not to mention the fact that this was shipped late and shifted out of focus with the epilogues and stuff. But Volthoom was a horrible villain. We didn't hardly see any wrath from him. If anything, there was plenty of wrath from other people, including Sinestro, Hal, the Guardians, other members, especially the Red Lanterns. But when it came to this character, all I saw was leeching, mind-fucking, talking, and that was pretty much it. And this was no exception in here. The biggest flaw is the villain itself, and that hurts the book tremendously. Because in here, I read this book 3 fucking times, and in here, all I saw from Volthoom was a bunch of talking. He takes a beating, he shakes off and does more talking, he takes another beating, and he shakes it off and does even more talking, and then he gets killed by Necron. I'm sorry I spoiled that. But you built up this guy to be potentially one of the most badass villains you've ever conjured up for the Green Lantern mythology, and you had him go out like a complete bitch. It's like that's literally what I got from him. He never truly displayed any wrath. It was more like arrogance and total narcissism, but hardly any wrath. The wrath came from other characters. This is supposed to be Wrath of the First Lantern. We want wrath from the villain, not from the people that he's antagonizing and basically just simply picking on. But with that, you probably thought I hate this book. No, I didn't hate it. I really did enjoy it. I thought it was a great read. It was a good finale to the story. It just wasn't perfect for me. To see Hal Jordan come back, I'll accept how he came back. Yeah, okay, whatever. They've done that stuff like that before. I personally got had a cheering fanboy moment when I saw the return of one of my personal favorite Green Lanterns. I'm gonna go ahead and spoil it. Fucking Nort came back! Nort came back! Fuck yes! Love me some Nort. But probably the biggest question of all was, did the Guardians get what they deserved? I'm not going to spoil that. Did they or didn't they? Pick this book up and read it. I won't spoil that. But overall, this was a great read. I did enjoy it. It was undeniably flawed, but for the benefit of the doubt, it was good. It was really good, and in my opinion, Jeff Johns, despite all my cracks and all my insults and all my jokes, all joking aside, Jeff Johns went out with a bang, and I think this book will be remembered for a while. So, Jeff, Mr. Johns, all kidding aside, all the insults put aside and everything, I gotta say, you did something with Hal Jordan that made him popular again. You took this character, you gave him a flip, you did this, and you did this with him. And for that, I do honestly thank you. You had your flaws in your storytelling, you had your shitty moments, but for this particular book, you did a great job. You went out with a bang despite the book's flaws. What more can I say? I did enjoy it. It just wasn't perfect. I'm sure a lot of Green Lantern fans, hardcore Green Lantern fans, are probably going to say, and one in particular you probably know who I'm talking about. One Green Lantern fanboy in particular is probably going to say that this was the greatest comic book he's ever read in his entire life. Give me a break. Alright, now for a back issue. Green Lantern Corps number 20. This is part of the epilogue of The Wrath of the First Lantern. I deliberately did not read this because I was informed that it did indeed spoil the ending of Green Lantern 20. And it did. But now that I've read that, I went back and read this. I pulled this out of the stack and I read it, and I liked it. I really did. I liked it. Love the storytelling with Guy Gardner in here. Even though Kilowog's on the cover, we didn't get really much from Kilowog. But there's one moment in particular I wanna draw attention to. Where is it? Now, it doesn't concern Guy Gardner. It concerns... yeah, here we go. John Stewart. I'm going to go ahead and spoil this. John and Star Sapphire Fatality, or Yura. They have sex on Mogo. You know, the planet, the Green Lantern planet. So, they had sex on Mogo, so technically, would that be considered a threesome? Think about it. They're on the surface of Mogo, rolling around naked. John pointed out, Mogo's gonna see us, and she's like, who cares? So, technically, that's kind of a threesome. I don't know. I'm just saying. Yeah, but the stuff with Guy Gardner in here was phenomenal. Phenomenal stuff. I'm not going to spoil anything that he did. All I'm going to say is, if you are a Guy Gardner fan, like I am, Guy Gardner's another one of my personal favorite Green Lanterns, you're going to love this book. I promise you. If you're a Guy Gardner fan, you will adore this book. I sure as hell did. This was great. And I'm going to leave it at that. Next up, Green Lantern New Guardians number 20. This is another epilogue to the Wrath of the First Lantern, excuse me. This is basically wrapping things up between all the members of this particular team, especially with Kyle Rayner. Basically, Kyle's just going around using his white ring to, see bad moments in the universe and just giving it the healing touch. That's pretty much all this was. But there was some good dialogue. There was some good moments in here. But the ending was... They were going for a tearjerker moment at the end. I didn't shed any tears, but I did like it. This was a great issue. Not perfect, but a great read. I did enjoy it. That's really all there is to say about this. It's just basically Kyle going around healing stuff throughout the universe. That's pretty much it, and it ends on an awe moment. That's all there is to say. Alright, next up, The Flash, number 20. Powerless against Reverse Flash. This is the beginning of a 6-part storyline involving Reverse Flash. Francis Manapul and Brian Bucello, they co-write and co-artist on here. I believe they do. Let me double check it just to make sure I'm getting it right. Co-writer and art. No, I'm wrong. Francis Manapul is the co-writer and he does the artwork. Brian Buscillo is the co-writer, and he does the coloring. Okay, my mistake. I had to get that right. But the artwork in here is great. It's some of the best. It's some of the best I've seen from Francis Manapul in a Flash book, to be honest. Barry gets he moves in with his girlfriend Patty, and everything seems to be going all right with him. But we still get those really awkward moments with Iris. And I mean awkward. It's almost like the writers don't want us to look at Patty and Iris in the same panel. It's like that. I swear to God, it feels like that. It's like there's hardly any conversation between the two of them. I'm like, Jesus, could you make it any more obvious that these two women are very uncomfortable to be around each other? But other than that, it was great stuff. Barry gets rehired back onto the police force after the correction of him being dead is resolved, but he doesn't go back to his old job at the crime lab. No, he's basically working at the bottom again. He's basically starting over. He's in the basement where he's handling all the cold cases and or the dead cases or something like that. That's basically where he is, and just some really good writing in here, some good action, and even more 2-page spreads of this Superman story. DC really wants you to know about that. But we get all kinds of we get to see Barry do more heroics using his Speed Force, and it's so refreshing to see Barry do stuff like this on his own without help from the Justice League and everything. And he even has time to stop and pose for pulling camera phones. Good stuff. But not too sure. I'm not 100% fond of the way the book ended. Barry's getting more clues as to what's going on with a particular murder that happens at the beginning of the book, and he sees something that leads him to a different conclusion than what I was expecting, and it has something to do with Kid Flash, and that's where I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to ruin anything else, but all I'm going to say is get this book and enjoy it. This was one of the better issues of The Flash that I've read. Some of the best artwork from Francis Manapul that I've seen in a while. This would be worth your money and worth your time. Alright. We're going to end this review with Red Lanterns number 20. This is the final epilogue of Wrath of the First Lantern. And I find it so poetic. Peter Milligan, this is his last issue of Red Lanterns. And this is, in my honest opinion, this was the best issue of Red Lanterns I have read out of this series. And Will Conrad does the artwork. The artwork in here is fantastic. The storytelling in here is phenomenal. We get to see now at the end of Green Lantern 20, which is resolved in here, it turns out a certain someone left a little gift for Atrocitus, and I'm gonna leave that plot point there. We get a very, very interesting conclusion to the plot point of Rancor's love interest, dilemma with his love interest that he's going after. Oh, just really good stuff. The characters, the artwork, everything about this book I absolutely loved. And yet we keep getting these 2-page spreads of Superman. We get it! Superman's coming with another series. We get it. But I loved what Rancor said at the end of the book, and I'm not going to spoil it. It was kind of poetic. Wouldn't say it was ironic, but considering what happens to him in here, you can tell his heart's just not in it anymore, and he's ready to go ahead and just give up and be a Red Lantern. He's ready. He's finally ready to accept what he's become. And you can't help but feel bad for the guy. I mean, this particular character could really go somewhere with this book. Now, and hopefully the new creative team that jumps on board with this continues to write this series as well as this. Peter Milligan, I salute you, man. This was the best issue of Red Lanterns I've read so far. Phenomenal stuff. A great conclusion. A great epilogue to the story involving the Wrath of the First Lantern. I loved every bit of it. This was definitely a great read. I probably spoiled it a little bit for my girlfriend because at the time that I'm recording this video, she hasn't read her copy yet. But we both love this series, and I know, baby, if you're watching, I know you're gonna love this book. Alright, that's all I got for... It's all the books I got. I know there's plenty of books that I missed out on, and I do apologize for that. I'm out of money. Now, remember, I'm planning on doing a live Q&A session at the end of the month. It's probably going to be on the 31st, the night of the 31st. I'll let you know when I can figure out more about it. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, blugoblinX, my main channel, Blugoblin01, my student, TheMtVernonKid. My friends at Dark Avenger Inc. Plus, Fast Stack of Comics, Deadpoolzilla, Brandon Hex, my girlfriend, Lenora 2003. Follow me, Twitter, on Tumblr. You won't regret it, I promise you. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and until next time, I'll see y'all later.